We are experiencing this life from inside out, not outside in. The real us is in this thing called a body. The slave masters, or the things that the creator put in this great movie we're in, which we play the lowest of lows, then there's the animals and all of the other things that we look down on. Their job is to keep us fooled and slaved. And the slavery that they catch us all the time is putting us in bodies at death. We have to avoid them and stay our real selves, because if you read any book, this thing called Allah is putting you in a new body. What is there really putting in that body? The real you is always being put in a body. That's why you're not a body. So at death, you have to say, I don't want to be in a body, I want to be me. And if you stay you, you will be just like Allah, which is bodiless and undefinable. But they lied about Allah and said that Allah will force you into body, or Allah force you into life. You asked to be in this situation because you were just great, because you were like Allah. You come from Allah, you're a piece of Allah, because Allah took from himself and made us. So we are the same thing that Allah is made of. So Allah took himself apart and put us into bodies so we can recognize him and worship him. But really what we're worshiping is ourself, because we come from God, we're a piece of God, because God cannot take from another God and make us. He has to take from himself. So all it is God recognizing God. It's a play, it's a movie. So when some of us are blessed in time to finally reach the time that we will go back to Allah, or go back to the God, which is ourself, the real self without a body. That's what we are. So we're experiencing this life from outside, from inside out, not outside in. You're always in you, so you're always seeing out of you. So the consciousness, or the God, the thing that you are, is inside this body, and at death it becomes free. So in that dimension, there's other entities there to trick you, to put you back into slavery, which is body. So when you go to the light at the end of the tunnel, when you're dead, that's you going back into another baby. So once you go out of that tunnel, you'll be back into this life in a baby again. So that's how they trick you. You're not supposed to go with them. You're supposed to ask them, where is the God? I don't want to know about his representatives, because you could be false. Everything is false. I want to know it from the Creator itself. And if you do tell me something, I am not held responsible by following, because I demand my Creator, my single Creator, to calm down and represent itself, that I am its creation, not its creation coming to me, telling me that it gets a message from the Creator. There comes a time when I, the creation, have to absolutely meet my Creator, and now is the time. Because everything else is a lie if the Creator is not himself to welcome me, not his creation. So that's what this whole thing is about. It's about not coming back into these bodies. So this is my last time here. That's why it's not about enjoying the life. My destiny is already written in time, because if time is created, the future was written already. There's no changing it. It is what it is. Even if you think you're changing it now, it will always be what it is tomorrow, because God created everything in time. He couldn't give you your own thing to do, then it wouldn't be God. So all the choices, all of the directions, everything you do, God already made. So evil God made, good God made. Nobody else made these things but God. So if anybody is to be blamed for anything you don't like in this life, it's God. So God did everything. So that's when you get back to God and God asks you, what is it that I made? You say everything, good and bad, because he made shaitan, he made evil, he made the actual thing that we come to not like. He made what is not like. So God has made everything. So if there's an evil thing, he allowed it to be. So God is evil himself. So all these religions like Islam and all these things, they're a bunch of lies. They're corrupting because all of these religions are created by the ones that want to fool you with death. So nothing is the truth. You always knew the truth, that you were something like a god inside of a body. And that's not you being arrogant, because everything wants you to worship it, but never to worship yourself. So that's why everything in this world is teaching you not to love yourself. But when you do love yourself, you love the real you. You respect the real you. But this body is a gift or a trust to take care of, and then you leave out of this body. You leave everything behind you have learned, your kids, everything, your money, everything. None of those things have value, but the real you. So these entities called archons, they trick you at death to come back as being a slave and a slave and a slave again. And you'll keep doing it until you come to this realization, or till destiny or time wills for you to come to the understanding that you want to go back to the original you. The one that the religions keep talking about, taking you and putting you in a body, and you go to heaven in a body, or you go to hell in a body. I'm not going to none of those. That's for people who have been fooled to believe in that state, because the archons created everything in this earth, including the bodies we are in. They own these matters. I am not their property. So I belong to my creator, and when we cross over, we won't see things the way we see it here, because we'll be in our true self, so we'll know everything. But in these bodies, we're limited to know anything. But once you have been willed to have this kind of knowledge that I'm telling you, that means you're very close to becoming back yourself. So this is why the Egyptian and everything in the world said, know thyself. I know me. Through all these religions I've studied, I know me now. I'm not coming back to this life. And that's why I teach you all of the things, and I teach everybody I come across to skip the grade. Don't come back in this lesser form. This earth doesn't have nothing but desires and money and hungry, and you gotta take care of yourself every minute. Who wants that? Ask yourself, if you would have been told how wicked and how hard this world would be, would you have made the choice to come here, or stay your unneeding self, which is a soul that has no limitations? So we have to limit ourselves to recognize what lower self is. So we put Allah, the ultimate thing that we come from, as the God. But we are all piece of God, playing the part of higherness or lowness to highness to God. But we are all made of the same thing that God is made of, which is God matter. The real us. This is not the real us, these bodies. We learn to love these bodies and worship these bodies because that's what we're programmed to do. But if you look at death, death doesn't have no respect for the body. The body just disintegrates and goes into the dirt, they burn it, they forget it. The body is not you. So people have come, this whole life teaches you to worship this body. Worship it. That's because the archons own these bodies. They don't own the real you that's inside the bodies. So they have to trick you. Maybe at this death or this time, the God will stop it all and bring us all back. So the evil is created by God, and the good is created by God. All of it is needed to play the whole movie as a fair representation of what low and high is, what good and bad is, what light and dark is. All of it is physical manifestation, and one hand washes the other. But there is a us that is not limited to these bodies or these restrictions of physics. There's an unphysical us, the one that you look out of your eyes with, the one that leaves when you die. But religion teaches you God is going to take that you and keep putting you in bodies to punish you. Punish you for what? What he made? He made evil and willed you to do it. and now he's gonna punish you for it? That's an unjust God. Just think about those things. That's why we are made to ponder, or we're not made to ponder, we're willed to know, and we're willed not to know. He guides who he wills and he leads who he wills to go astray. No one can guide but God. And he who God misguides, no one can guide. That's what that is basically saying. So I am guided. I am blessed to know this is my final life and this is my final body. That's why I'm this way now. I'm not coming back in a body. It'll be hell to pay on earth if I do come back. I'm not gonna be good.